webinars. This lesson is about Hamza and Hamza-tul-Wasl. Objectives: to learn what Hamza-tul-Wasl is, to learn some very basic grammar, to have a background in reading Hamza-tul-Wasl. So we'll be looking at the definite article, imperative verbs, and what we call irregular nouns. We will learn what the sun and moon letters are and how they're used with the definite article. We will cover the shortening of the sounds due to Hamza with sukoon. Okay, so we've learnt so far, and we've covered this a few times in previous lessons, that the Hamza can be written in many ways. So we have the Hamza written on its own. It can be seated on other letters, so it can be seated on alif, under alif. It can be seated on the waw, the ya. The joined up version is on a little curve, and we've got the lam Hamza and lam Hamza, one with the Hamza that will carry normally fatha or dhamma, and the other one carrying the kasra. And for our purposes, we're going to call these the normal Hamzas. Now, in proper terms, the terminology for that is written up in the top right in Arabic. A bit difficult to pronounce. It's Hamza-tul-qat. So that it's difficult to pronounce, so we're going to call it the normal Hamzas. So these are the normal Hamzas that we're used to. Now the other one that we've covered is Hamza-tul-Wasl, and that is this small sign on top of the alif, which is known as the wasla. Okay, and we're going to cover this lesson really about how these are all read and any peculiarities that you need to know about. So the normal Hamzas then. First thing to note, all of these normal Hamzas can carry fatha, kasra, dhamma, sukoon. They can also carry the, well, in some cases they can carry the tanween, especially the Hamza on its own. The main thing to note here is the Hamza, the normal Hamzas, can carry the vowel sounds and they can be silent. Okay. So here's a few examples. We've got the a, e, u, etc. And the main point here, and we've covered this before, is the Hamza will always be pronounced as the Hamza. Even if it's sitting on a waw or a ya, they're still pronounced as a normal Hamza. Now, the only peculiarity with the normal Hamzas is this one case. And what we have, if we look at the three examples that we've just put up, and I've highlighted them in red. And effectively what it is, we have a sound in a word which is followed by a Hamza which is sakin. Now again, we've used the round circle here to indicate the sukoon because this is the computer font. So in all these three cases, we've got a sound followed by Hamza with sakin. Okay, and we've done three examples, one with a fatha, one with a kasra, and one with a dhamma. Now in the case you have a sound, and it will normally be a short vowel, so i.e. the fatha, kasra, or dhamma, and it's followed by a Hamza with a sukoon, i.e. it's sakin. You effectively pronounce the sound of the short vowel at half the normal length. Okay, so we'll just go through these examples. So the first one is we've got iqra. Okay, so you literally shorten the ra, which would normally be one long, cut it down to about half the length. So it'd be iqra instead of iqra. Okay, so we shorten it. The second one is shi'tum. Shi'tum. So you just cut, instead of shi'tum, you say shi'tum. Cut the E sound in half. And the last one, instead of saying mu soda, we say mu soda. So it's half the length of the U sound. Okay, so we just go mu soda. Quick recap then, any short vowel followed by a Hamza which is sakin, cut the length down by half. And really, out of the normal Hamzas, there's the only two things you have to remember. The Hamza is always pronounced as a Hamza, even if it is sitting on a waw or ya. And if any short vowel followed by a Hamza which is sakin, cut the length of the pronunciation of the short vowel to half its length. Okay, now we come to the Hamza-tul-Wasl. Now this is a bit more of a complicated area. Now the Hamza-tul-Wasl, i.e. the wasla sign on top of the alif, can be used in many ways. And unfortunately, the only way you can really understand this in any proper depth is to study Arabic grammar. And you'd have to do at least an elementary level of grammar to understand all these. However, this is good background information. So we're going to divide this up into 4 different sections. Firstly, something called the definite article, which in English is the word the. We're going to have something called irregular nouns. And we've got what are called imperative verbs, which is effectively verbs that are commanding or ordering normally a second person to do something. And then we've got exceptions to all these rules. So we're going to break these down one by one. So the definite article. In Arabic, the definite article, i.e. the, is written normally as the Hamza-tul-Wasl with the lam. And in different scripts it will be written different ways. So we've also got this written as they would write it in the Majidi script. So what they do in the Majidi script, and we've covered this before, they drop the wasla sign and they put in for you the short vowel. So remember, al is effectively what we say in English, the. So the first example here, they haven't put the fatha in. You need to know it's al. And in the second one, in the Majidi script, they may put a fatha in for you. So that's what the definite article is. And we'll take a small example. And this is very basic grammar. So here we have a word which is kitabun. Okay, and the dhammatain here is the computer version. It's the small dhamma with the hook on it, but it's representing dhammatain or dhamma tanween, whatever you want to call it. So this is kitabun. Now, in Arabic grammar, if you have a noun with the last letter which carries a tanween, it normally indicates that it is an indefinite noun, i.e. we're talking generally. So a book, we're not talking about a particular book. If you want to switch that general noun or common noun, whatever you want to call it, into a definite noun, i.e. we're talking about a specific book, then the rule is you prefix it, i.e. you start it with al, which is like putting the word the on the front of it, al, and the tanween effectively gets changed to a single haraka. I.e. instead of tanween, you take, if in this case we've got the 2 dhammas, we change it for 1 dhamma. So kitabun, a book, becomes al-kitabu, which is the book. Okay, so that's just the background on the word al. And if you look in your Quran, you will see lots and lots of words with the beginning or beginning with al, because they're just talking about definite objects. Okay, the next thing then